The season opener for any racing series is special, but if you really want to make a splash, make sure it's in a cool location. And it doesn't get much better than South Florida in spring. Fort Lauderdale welcomes the spectacular Red Bull Global Rallycross Series for the first time. And if it's fast, flying action you're looking for, you've come to the right place. And we kick it off with semi-final action. The numbers you need to be looking at, the top 3 will advance. They go straight through to the main event. Those who don't will make up the LCQ, or last chance qualifier, and the top 4 finishers from that LCQ will go through to the main. One thing you have to look out for in Red Bull GRC racing, you must take the Cobalt Tools Joker lap each race, and if you forget, you will be in trouble. Time to take a closer look at this Fort Lauderdale circuit. Talk us round, Anders.
Well, it's a really short run down to that turn 1, off the line, almost up to 100 miles an hour before they have to slam on the brakes into turn 1, turn 2, then over that big jump, 210 feet long, then into the gravel pit, turn 4, really tough to get the brakes right there, and then into turn 5, another hairpin, and also the penalty box here on the left-hand side in case they get naughty out there. Turn 6, final corner on the track. Really fast corner as they complete the lap. And then, let's have a look at the Cobalt Tools Joker lap on the inside of turn 1. This gives you about a second to a second and a half advantage.
The track is challenging, but what's the spectacle? It's that monster jump, and with more on that, here's Kristen Kenny. The defending series champ, the gap in the middle there on our royal purple grid was meant to be for Weeman, so he'll go for the final opportunity, the last chance qualifier a little later to try and make it through to the main event. Scott Speed has not been headed this weekend. He starts from the pole on the royal purple grid, and it's going to take some beating, isn't he?
Yeah, but have a look at Steve Arpin here. He's been so strong in practice and so quick in that Chip Ganassi car. And there we have the OMSE car of Ericsson. He's been super quick as well.
Sebastian Eriksson in the Red Bull Ford. He's flying the flag. There's Sverre Isaksson and Patrick Sandell over in the Cobalt Ford Fiesta as well. So the Subarus have got some work to do here this weekend. They have not been all that fast, and for a man who's as accomplished as the Norwegian Sverre Isaksson, it will be somewhat frustrating, but let's see what he can do here in the first semi-final. Speed is your pole sitter. When we go green, it's on. 2015 Red Bull Global Rallycross is underway, and look at the start. Ericsson got a flyer, and 2 go straight in to the Cobalt Tools Joker lap, and that was Scott Speed and Ericsson side by side over the jump.
We haven't seen 2 cars go side by side over the jump so far. They do make it through, but man, that was a close call. Steve Arpin, what a great move on the inside there in turn 1 in that Cobalt Tools Joker.
The Canadian is off to a flyer as the series welcomes the legendary racing organisation Chip Ganassi Racing to Red Bull GRC, and Arpin is doing a fine job early on.
He's been doing an amazing job, and he's said so many positive things. Oh, look at this! Scott Speed gets nudged out of the way by Ericsson. Wow, what a move there, slide tackle.
We said at the top that Scott Speed is going to take something special for him to be beaten. Well, this is the first time this weekend that he's had cars ahead of him on the road in a race.
It is. He's been fairly dominant in qualifying. He was way ahead of the field. And as we see the Joker up here up top, whenever that's colored up, that means you've done your Joker. So Ericsson's still yet to do his Joker.
On board, look at this. Scott Speed really starting to hassle Ericsson. Up and over the jump one more time. Look at the lead that Steve Arpin's got, though.
Unbelievable. He's built that up, and he's shown a lot of speed over practice, but now he's truly unleashing it. Clearly, they found some speed in that Chip Ganassi car.
Out of turn 5, really challenging turn when they come through. For the fast-flowing right-hander, Arpin has a sizable advantage.
But look at this, Scott Speed can't do anything right now. I wonder if they've changed the setup overnight, because he was dominant early on, and right now he's struggling to keep up with these Fiestas.
Sverre Isaksson and Patrick Sandell basically invisible. They're back and forth a bit. What a huge jump from Ericsson. That was massive.
And he's all the way over to the left-hand side there in that gravel pit, and there's not a lot of grip on the gravel to begin with, but right now he's in the wrong part of the track.
And 1, 2, and 3 pretty much look like they'll stay as is, and these three are the transfer positions. So, Arpin, Ericsson, and Scott Speed aboard the Volkswagen Andretti Rallycross machine. New engine this year, it's a 2-litre turbocharged, and it's made a difference already. It's looking good for 2015.
Yeah, it's made a big difference. A big boost in torque for that VW engine there compared to the 1.6-litre engine they had last year. As you see, the yellow flag with what I believe is Sverre Isaksson stopped out on track on the exit of turn 4.
And that was the case yesterday as well. It has not been a happy weekend so far for Sverre. White flag out, one more to go. 0.4 of a mile to cover before the first semi is done. And Steve Arpin, what a way to get Ganassi going in the Red Bull GRC in 2015.
He is truly just living the dream, from Northwest Ontario, Canada, to racing for Chip Ganassi, a multiple Indy 500 winner. I mean, just an unbelievable story.
And there you saw the car stranded on the side of the track. We ride aboard Scott Speed, and Ericsson gets super sideways and gathers it back up just in time to see the checkered flag for Steve Arpin. The Canadian wins the opening semi-final over Sebastian Ericsson and Scott Speed. Those three guys transfer to the main event.
And Steve Arpin is now well and truly in the catbird seat for the final here. Unbelievable.
All of the drivers talking about where you can position yourself on the start is a huge advantage. Well, Steve Arpin goes into the main very strong, as the royal purple graphic shows us. Arpin, Ericsson, Speed, they go through, advancing to the main event. Here. Set to go to the royal purple grid now for semi-final number 2 for Red Bull GRC here in Fort Lauderdale. And Nelson Piquet Jr. starts from the pole position. Center of the screen is Mr. Excitement Ken Block, and Austin Dine on the outside of the front row. We go back to row 2, and Tanner Faust, teammate to Scott Speed. What can he do? It's been a bit of a rough start to the weekend.
Yeah, they've shown amazing pace, but both guys have now had some bad misfortune here, so hopefully they can turn things around. But Gonzalez here, he's shown some pace as well. He's been mixing it up towards the front of the field.
On the outside of that second row, Bucky Lassick, and we go on board with Ken Block. He has been in the thick of it big time this weekend. And Austin Dine has done a really nice job so far in Fort Lauderdale this weekend. What can he do in the semi-final?
He's been really strong with this Brian Herta Rally Sport team so far. You can just see the intensity in his eyes here as he's getting ready for that start. So important to get a good launch here, because passing opportunities are not very often to come about here.
Moments away from the start of semi-final number 2 here at Red Bull GRC Fort Lauderdale. It's the season opener. The top 3 will go through to the main event. Ready for green. Let's go! Good start, Ken Block. Oh, he and Piquet Jr. collide, and they take the Cobalt Tools Joker lap, and the Piquet into the side of Ken Block. Block will not give up.
Look at this, nudging each other, trying to nudge each other over that jump right there, but Ken Block with a great move right there. Austin Dine did not take the Joker lap there, so he could be in a pretty good position as well right now, but Ken Block right now is not going to want to give this position up.
Great start, that's the one he needed. And we put the attention onto Austin Dine and Tanner Faust right here, because Dine is in that transfer position. Faust will want to steal it away. Here comes Piquet. Piquet on Ken Block into turn 1.
Oh, look at that, but look now, Austin Dine through the Joker and is on the back of the gearbox of these cars right here. We have an all-forward battle, but Tanner Faust badly needs that one spot to move to the finals. Austin Dine, as we ride with him, almost made life very difficult for Nelson Piquet Jr. in the Wix Filters Ford. He continues to chase Ken Block. Look at this, but he bogged down out of turn 5.
Faust
Tanner
on the
Faust.
inside.
Oh, inside in turn 6. That does not typically end well if you try for that move. But Tanner Faust, look at the speed he's got right now as he's going into turn 1, getting that car rotated. Now time for the big jump.
The 2-time series champion Tanner Faust grows frustrated with Austin Dine. This is history repeating itself, because these two went at each other in the last round of the heats, and Faust could not get by Austin Dine. Austin drove beautifully. And Faust even lost his front bumper in the heat, so he is not afraid of a bit of contact here. But it looks like Austin Dine just has a little bit better run off the corners. That Ford Fiesta is incredibly powerful right off the line, and so far Tanner can't do anything about it. But here we go. Oh, a little nudge there. Is Austin Dine going to force Tanner Faust to the last chance qualifier, or can that Volkswagen Andretti machine do something about Dine?
I think Tanner needs to pressure Austin into a mistake, but as you can see, he's driving really nicely right now. Really, really nice and smooth, and the only way he's going to get past them is by making a mistake.
Pressure is on. This is for the transfer position. If you finish in the top 3, you go through to the main. Austin Dine runs wide. Here comes Faust on the inside. Couldn't quite do it that lap.
He just ran a little bit too wide coming off that final corner. Just nudged the wall, but I think his car will be fine in that Ford Fiesta. They're being chased by the VW Beetle of Tanner Faust. Look at how closely fought these cars are. It's incredible.
That monster tabletop is a huge one. It's 10 feet tall. They are jumping. Oh, Austin Dine gets sideways and Faust T-bones him.
And they interlock wheels, and now through turn 6, side by side through turn 6. That's a really quick corner there. Can he hang on? He needs to get the inside now for turn 1. Can't quite get it done, but man, this is some pressure.
1 lap to go. This is it. 0.4 of a mile. Can Austin Dine hang on? Ken Block still leads the way over Nelson Piquet Jr. by 2 seconds. Here he is, on his way to victory and transferring to the main event. Ken Block, last year's runner-up in Red Bull GRC. The checkered flag awaits Mr. Excitement, and he does it quite easily. Well done, Ken Block. Nelson Piquet Jr. comes in. Oh, and Faust collides with Austin Dine, trying everything on the last turn, and he couldn't do it. Austin Dine hangs on to transfer to the main event. How about that? That was wild.
That was crazy, and I don't think Tanner Faust expected he would have to work that hard to get into the finals. That VW looked so strong early on in practice, but right now, look at Austin Dine. Great job for him.
And a great job for Brian Herter Rally Sport as well. One of the multiple IndyCar teams that compete in Red Bull GRC as well. We go to the Royal Purple board, and it's Block, Piquet, and Dine who transfer to the main event. But let's take you back to the opening turn at the start. It's the action zone.
What a great jump off the line here for Ken Block. Look at that, into the Joker, and from there it was never phased.
Pushing hard, and you've got to muscle your way through. Awesome stuff. Yeah, get the pressure right. All right, let's go to our Royal Purple starting grid for this last chance qualifier. And it kind of feels surprising to say Tanner Faust.
Yeah, we really did not expect that at all. He's been so quick in practice, but he just had a little bit of misfortune, so that has not gone his way. But Sverre Isaksen here, we know he's quick, so let's see if he can make the most out of his Subaru.
And Bucky Lasek starting on the second row. The good news is for these guys, Anders, is that there are 4 transfer positions and there are 4 cars in this last chance qualifier over the 4 laps. So each driver, including Sverre Isaksen, will get a passage to the main event.
Yeah, and have a look at this now. Sverre pulled first gear there on the silver lever, now holding the handbrake, revving the engine up, getting ready. Oh, and a jump start for Gonzalez.
Victor Gonzalez Jr. went early. He went before the green lights came on, and that's a no-no. Tanner Faust away with a nice start, but Gonzalez just went about a half a second early.
Yeah, he just jumped a little bit early. He's probably going to have to go into the penalty box here and stop. But keep in mind, this is still an important race for these guys because this will be their starting grid for the final. So Tanner Faust right now will have an opportunity to start inside the top 7.
Bucky Lasek at the back. And this is, as Anders mentioned, this is a good opportunity to have one more roll at it, one more go, refine some things before the big one, the main event, the 10-lap final.
Yeah, it's a perfect opportunity to fine-tune on those tire pressures that we just heard about. Figure out what's too much, what's too little. Tanner here doing a great job. He's clearly got his car all dialed in and he's pulling away. And Gonzalez here stopping for his penalty. And yeah, that's got to put him all the way to the back of the field. Both Subarus, so Sverre Isaksen and Bucky Lasek are going to go through there.
But once again, because of the absence of the reigning series champion, Yoni Weeman, with that injured back that happened, he suffered that earlier today. This has made life easier for these 4 guys in the last chance qualifier who will all get a berth. Have you noticed the impact of the sandpit on the rest of this 0.4 of a mile track? It's taking its toll.
It really is, and it's making it so hard. That brake zone for turn 4, the cars are slipping and sliding all over the track and bumping a lot. So it's a very tough part on the track.
Up and over the jump one last time. Last chance qualifier has been a little less pressureful than what that semi-final was for the two-time series champion, Tanner Faust.
He's just out on a Sunday drive right now, going to take that checker flag and guarantee a spot in 7th on the grid for the final.
Nice work. The Subarus of Isaacson and Lassick will come home. And Victor Gonzalez Jr., who jumped the start, but no harm, no foul, because he will get through to the main event as well. And Gonzalez has come to a stop. We will follow this up as we confirm the results in the last chance qualifier for you. As you would expect in this one, Tanner Faust on top. Got a nice start and an extra practice, if you wish, leading in to the 10-lap main event. And the Subaru boys coming home 2nd and 3rd for Subaru Rally Team USA. Well, we can't talk about this series without highlighting that. And that man there, Steve Arpin, has made a very strong start to the 2015 season. Time to take you to the Royal Purple Grid. Ken Block will start from pole position alongside Arpin, the two winners of our semi-finals. Now, there's been a late change on the grid. Nelson Piquet Jr. has been moved out. You see him there in the Wix filters for the yellow and black car on the left. He's been moved up to the front row and on the outside at the request of this man here in the Volkswagen Andretti RallyCross Beetle. Scott Speed requested the 2nd row, but Anders, he wanted that inside line. He wanted that inside line to be able to take advantage of that Cobalt Tools Joker lap on the 1st lap. It's the only way he's going to try and keep out of trouble here. Very, very smart move, I think, but we'll see here. Subaru Rally Team USA boys alongside each other in the yellow Beetle, the 2nd one for the Andretti squad. Tanner Faust will have some work to do coming from further back in the pack, seeing how he had to get to this stage through the last chance qualifier. And good to see that Victor Gonzalez Jr. did actually make it out. 10 cars for 10 laps. It's round 1, the first of 12 rounds in 2015, the Red Bull Global Rallycross Championship. This is exciting stuff, and for the very first time on the streets of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, just seconds away, you'll see 5 red lights come up. They'll be extinguished. When you see green, it's go time. Here's the main event in Fort Lauderdale, and a superstar from Ken Block, Nelson Piquet Jr. Look at Piquet. Oh, and he gets hammered. There's lots of contact in that opening turn. Ken Block gets through the bend. And how about Scott Speed? Speed's up to 2nd already. Look at Scott Speed. What a smart move to get to the inside there. Tanner Faust has fallen way, way back. A horrible start for him, but Scott Speed, great move for him on the opening lap. Ericsson on the inside there. Oh, Sverre Isaacson just hit him from behind. And then Nelson Piquet Jr. What a start. Steve Arpin's next in line. He runs in 4th at the moment, but it's Ken Block. The Ford Fiesta leads the way over the Andretti Volkswagen Beetle of Scott Speed. And just look at how much the cars are moving around right now. It's a very dirty track. That gravel trap has dragged sand all over the tracks, and they're going sideways. And keep in mind, that's going to be to the benefit of Ken Block. He does not mind going sideways. Scott Speed, on the other hand, likes to drive it a bit more one-dimensionally. Keep in mind, the man running 3rd, Nelson Piquet Jr. Oh, we got a car stopped here, and that's Steve Arpin. That would be for something that happened on the opening lap, opening turn. All of that contact. Oh, he's actually been, we've just heard, he's been deemed to have jumped the start. So he had to spend 5 seconds in the penalty box. Ken Block leads Scott Speed. Piquet Jr. gets to do his Cobalt Tools Joker lap. So he's got that one up his sleeve. But speaking of jokers, the one guy that can be a big upset here is Piquet. He still has not made the Joker lap yet, so he could gain some valuable ground there. He's keeping pace with the leaders, but he ideally needs to be a little bit closer to them in order to gain another spot. Let's see what he can do in that Wix Filters Ford. Doesn't take it again. Ericsson's the next one in the line. Behind Ericsson, it's Isaacson and then Bucky Lassick. Tanner Faust is well down the order in 8th position as we climb on board his teammate's car, Scott Speed. Just look at how dirty that track is. Exiting turn 4, a lot of wheel spin there. Tough to get the power down. Look at Scott Speed here, going through turn 6, the fastest corner on the track, but again, it's very, very dirty right now. And he's struggling to keep up with Ken Block, and I wonder if that's because Ken's car is set up to do a bit more sliding than that of Scott Speed. You can't believe the way that the weekend got started for Ken Block. Scott Speed was leading the race. Ken Block was chasing him. And as we go on to A1A, one of the most famous roads in the country, at this corner here, Ken Block went charging up the inside and just went head on straight into the tyre barrier, overcooked it, said he had a little brake problem. So the weekend started in the most inauspicious way, but now it's looking good for Ken Block. Look at him in the cockpit, hard at work.
What a great job there. Look at that, going down that sequential gearbox, now pulling through the gear. Second, third gear, up the jump now. Now he's going to start downshifting again here. Second gear. Is he going to go down to first gear? No, he's not. He's leaving it in second gear. Third gear, fourth gear here, and now into that hairpin, turn 5. Great driving for Ken Block.
Leaping about 70 feet over the tabletop jump. Nobody's headed Ken Block in this one. He's got about 1.5 seconds over Scott Speed, and then back to PK Jr., who did take the Cobalt Tools Joker lap. So he's completed that. Ericsson and Isaacson. And then Austin Dine runs in 6th place at the moment in this 10 lap, the first main event for 2015 in Red Bull GRC.
And here's something I think no one ever thought of saying. Ken Block is dominating on a street circuit.
Doing a nice job, doing a really nice job. And it all unfolded for him at the start. We go on board with Tanner Faust.
And boy, has Tanner Faust been in the battles. We've seen his bumper come off in one of the heats. He's been bumping and grinding, and right now he's trying to chase down Austin Dine. The same two guys that were battling in the semifinal are now about to go side by side almost there through turn 6, battling for 6th position. Does he get the spot? Yes, he does. Just a little bit later on the brakes there into turn 1. Now he's got to chase down Sverre Isaacson.
There was no way that Tanner Faust was going to let Austin Dine beat him again. He's like, wow, not you again. The last person I wanted to meet on track. Austin's done well. Oh, Bucky Lasek. Bucky Lasek has come to a very abrupt halt here in the final. With just 2 laps to go, the Subaru man is stationary. White flag is coming out next time by.
Just look at how the cars move around on that gravel trap there. Very, very difficult to get the car set up for turn 4. There we see Bucky. Exit of turn 5 right there. Not a good place to be stopped.
Ken Block only lost this Red Bull GRC Championship by 5 points last year. He wants to make up for that, and he's got 1 more lap to go before he starts the new season in the best possible way. He is Mr. Excitement. He's an internet sensation. His Gymkhana work, his videos are legendary. But this is a show of very mature, composed, excellent driving.
And he came into this season saying it's all or nothing. He's carried that momentum through the weekend, and boy, has he been dominant in this final.
He has got more than 3.5 seconds over Scott Speed. The first win of the season goes to Ken Block. Fort Lauderdale victory to last year's championship runner-up. Gets the big points. In second, Scott Speed, some 3.2 seconds back, and Nelson PK Jr. will finish on the podium. For SH Racing and his Wix Filters Ford, good job from the Brazilian, and Tanner Faust will get the upper hand, finally over Austin Dine in a hard-fought battle. Just like that, as quick as that, Fort Lauderdale Red Bull GRC is done, and Ken Block is your winner.
I think I've seen more moves over the past couple of days than I've seen in the last year combined. The racing has been incredible, and it's been a true pleasure, and it's setting a precedent now for the rest of the season.
That sandpit section, it had an impact. It threw a challenge at the drivers. The monster jump certainly did as well. But coming away with victory, Red Bull GRC for the first round, Ken Block, your winner. Speaking of performance, for their performance today in Red Bull Global Rallycross, AutoZone has awarded these 3 drivers, Scott Speed, Nelson PK Jr. and Austin Dine, the top performers for this, the season opening race here in Fort Lauderdale. However, the man who is the best performer is Ken Block. He had 2 victories on the season in 2014. He starts 2015 in the best possible way. And considering last year he started the season on his lid, so to speak, after flipping the car, this is a complete contrast and the best way to get any new racing season going. Let's have a look at the results.
Yeah, Ken Block there obviously dominating the final, but Scott Speed showing just how quick that VW is, and as he alluded to, you know, he's got a really, really quick car. Nelson PK Jr. as well. He got so close to fighting for the championship title last year, so I think we'll see a lot more of him.
Yeah, for sure, and unfortunately for Bucky Lasek, came to a stop outside turn 5 there and was not able to go any further. It's time now, though, to hear from